All right, he started this year as a Republican, but made that seismic shift across the aisle. Now he's telling us why he's running to be Georgia's next governor as a Democrat. Here now on the show is the co-host of Georgia Vote, Zach Merchant. Always joins us on a Friday. Good to see you, my friend. You all right?
Chesley, it is always good to join you guys on a Friday morning. It means we made it to the end of the week, and I get to hang out with you. It is always a good time.
Oh, man, don't make me blush. All right, you sat down with Jeff Duncan, and he's taking an unorthodox path. Tell us what he had to say.
Yeah, very unorthodox path and a high-profile path. You mentioned right off the top, Jeff Duncan. He is running for governor now. He is running for governor as a Democrat. He, until recently, was not a Democrat, at least officially. He spent the bulk of his political life as a Republican and in high-profile roles in Georgia. Most recently, he was Georgia's lieutenant governor. He was a Republican in that role, and he staked out a lot of conservative positions in that role. But after the 2020 election and the criticism and the challenges from some conservatives of Georgia's presidential election results, including most prominently from President Donald Trump, Duncan began to drift from the Republican Party. It was a slow drift, but a consistent drift. This past summer, I guess 2 summers ago now, the summer of 2024, he actually attended the Democratic National Convention. He endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for president. He spoke at that DNC. And then more recently, he made his switch to the Democratic Party official. Now he's running. But it has been an odyssey over these last few years.
Did he tell you what ultimately made him go across the aisle?
He said it was a lot of things, and he's trying to couch his election bid here in terms of electability, too. That was a big theme that came to him. As far as why he wanted to switch, he kept coming back to this idea of, he said it was hard for him as a Republican to love his neighbor. That's something he said in an op-ed in the AJC. He said it to us as well. Some Republicans I know have taken some issue with that framing of the Republican Party and its positions, but that's how Duncan saw things. He's in this race now. He does come with what some Democrats see as some baggage. You know, he had a lot of conservative positions for a long time in the public eye on things like guns and gun safety, things like abortion access. He was a proponent of Georgia's so-called heartbeat bill when he was in the state legislature, when he was leading the state senate as lieutenant governor. That bill, now signed into law, bans most abortions after about 6 weeks of pregnancy. He said he regrets that. He said he got the issue of abortion wrong, but we drill into that. We talk about that in this interview coming up this Sunday, as well as a lot of his other conservative positions. He says he's looking to talk to Democratic voters and convince them that he is the real deal and he's the best choice in this primary.
Well, can't wait to hear more about that. But, you know, the biggest thing happening in politics right now is the federal shutdown that's taking place right now. Where do Georgia lawmakers stand on it?
They stand where a lot of lawmakers from all the other states also stand right now. There is a real division, a real gulf between most Republicans and most Democrats. The Democrats we spoke with, and we've spoken with a lot of them over the last 48, 72, however many hours it has now been since the shutdown, they're kind of all blurring together here a little bit. But they're pretty entrenched in their position. They blame Republicans for this shutdown. They say that this new spending bill, it needs to include more health care funding. They say it needs to include an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies. They see this as a chance to undo some of the cuts made to health care spending in the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, the President Trump-backed Big Beautiful Bill that passed over the summer. Democrats want to unwind a lot of that stuff. Republicans, though, they say, hey, it's on the Democrats. They could reopen the government if they agreed to this spending bill. It's a GOP proposal that keeps the government on a short-term funding plan at roughly roughly its current levels of spending. There is a lot of finger pointing going on right now. At some point, they're going to have to get together and get a deal done, but right now, still a big gulf between these two positions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my friend.
Chesley, I always appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. We'll look forward to seeing you on the show. All right, and you can watch the Georgia Vote with Zach Merchant and Faith Jesse Sunday morning at 11 o'clock right here on 11Alive Plus. Can't wait to see it, and can't wait to hear more.